You don't control your mind anymore. Nah, and you didn't even notice when you lost it. Think about that carefully. Not as a dramatic statement, but as a real possibility. Because if that's even slightly true, then most of what you believe about yourself is built on something unstable. There was no clear moment where it happened, no single decision, no obvious turning point, just a gradual shift, so slow, so quiet that your brain adjusted to it automatically. You didn't question it. You didn't resist it, because nothing about it felt urgent enough to question. It felt normal. That's how real influence works. It doesn't force you. It blends in. It becomes part of your routine, part of your environment, part of your daily life. And over time, it becomes part of you. Something has been slowly changing the way you think, not in a forceful way, but in a consistent one. Small exposures, repeated patterns, tiny behaviors, stacking over time. You think you're just distracted? You think you're just tired? You think your focus is weak? Your discipline is inconsistent? Your motivation comes and goes? That's the explanation you've accepted, because it's easier to blame yourself than to question what surrounds you. But what if that explanation is incomplete? What if your behavior isn't a personal failure, but a learned response? A response shaped by repetition, by exposure, by constant interaction with things designed to capture your attention. Every time you pick up your phone without thinking, that's not random. Every time you unlock it and forget what you were about to do, that's not accidental. Every time you scroll, even when you know you should stop, that's not a lack of intelligence. It's a pattern, a trained reaction. Your brain is constantly adapting. Whether you're aware of it or not, it learns from repetition, from frequency, from emotional reward. It doesn't care whether something is good for you. It only cares whether something is repeated. And right now, it's being trained to expect stimulation, to avoid effort, to seek the easiest possible reward. You didn't design that training, but you're living inside it. Your brain was built for a completely different environment, an environment where attention mattered for survival, where focus meant safety, where distractions were limited and temporary. Now you're surrounded by constant input, visual noise, information overload, endless content competing for your attention, and your brain is trying to process all of it. But it can't. So it adapts, it simplifies, it shortens your attention span, it prioritizes speed over depth, it starts to prefer quick rewards over long-term effort. Because that's what it's being exposed to the most. That's why stillness feels uncomfortable now. That's why doing nothing feels harder than doing something meaningless. Because your brain has been conditioned to avoid that state. Silence used to be neutral. Now it feels like something is missing, like you need to fill it immediately. And here's the part most people don't want to admit. You're not just reacting to your environment. You're being shaped by it. You don't sit with your thoughts anymore, not because you don't have thoughts, but because the moment they appear, you replace them with content, with scrolling, with something easier to consume. And over time, that becomes your default state, automatic, unquestioned. You wake up, and before you're fully aware, your hand reaches for your phone. Not because you decided to, but because your brain expects it. You open apps without intention. You switch between tasks without finishing them. You consume more than you create. And slowly, your ability to direct your own attention weakens. Not suddenly, but consistently. Pause for a second. When was the last time you chose what to focus on and actually stayed with it without being pulled away. You tell yourself you need more discipline, but discipline isn't the root problem here. Because even when you want to focus, you feel resistance. Even when you try to change, you fall back into the same patterns. That's not just habit. That's conditioning. And the more it repeats, the more it feels like part of who you are. But it's not who you are. It's what you've been trained to become. And if that's true, then the real question isn't whether you're lazy. It's whether you've been operating on a system you never chose. You were never supposed to notice this. Because the moment you notice it, you start seeing patterns everywhere. And once you see the pattern, it becomes impossible to ignore. That's why it works best when it stays invisible. Because when something controls you quietly, you don't fight it, you cooperate with it without realizing it. This doesn't happen in one big moment. It happens in small repetitions, subtle behaviors, repeated daily, without awareness. Every scroll reinforces a behavior. Every distraction strengthens a pathway. Every time you choose the easier option, your brain remembers it. And next time, it becomes even easier to repeat. That's how conditioning works, not through force, but through consistency. You think you're just taking a break. You think you're just relaxing. You think you're just filling time. But your brain is actively learning from those moments. It's adjusting its expectations. It's deciding what feels normal, what feels difficult, what feels worth doing. And right now, it's learning to avoid anything that requires sustained effort. It's learning to resist focus. It's learning to prefer quick stimulation over deep engagement. That's why long tasks feel overwhelming. That's why your mind drifts even when you try to concentrate. That's why starting something meaningful feels heavier than continuing something meaningless. Because your brain has been trained that way, not by accident, but by repeated exposure. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. If your brain can be trained like this, then it means your behavior is not entirely your own. You didn't choose this version of yourself. You became it gradually, through environment, through habits, through constant interaction with systems designed to keep you engaged. Because engagement is valuable. Your attention has become a resource, more valuable than your time, more valuable than your effort. Because it determines how you use both, and there are entire systems built to capture it, to hold it, to shape it. Every notification is designed to interrupt you. Every algorithm is designed to predict you. Every piece of content is designed to keep you watching. And the more you interact with it, the more it adapts to you. It learns what you like, what you pause on, what you return to, what keeps you engaged just long enough to come back again, until it understands your behavior better than you do. That's when it stops feeling external. It starts feeling natural, like your choices are your own, even when they're influenced. Think about that for a second. If something can predict your behavior, how much of it is actually yours? And that's where the real shift happens. Because now, you're not just reacting. You're being guided, subtly, consistently, without resistance. And the longer that continues, the harder it becomes to separate what you actually want from what you've been trained to want. That's the part most people never question. They assume their preferences are their own, their habits are their own, their routines are their own. But if those patterns were shaped through repeated external influence, then how much of it was ever truly chosen? That's where it becomes uncomfortable. Because now, you're not just questioning your behavior, you're questioning your identity. who you are, what you value, what you prioritize. And once that question appears, it doesn't go away easily, because every action you take after that feels different, more intentional, or more questionable. You start noticing the impulse before the action. You start noticing the distraction before it takes over. And in that small gap, you realize something important. You're not as in control as you thought. And now comes the question most people avoid. If your attention is constantly being pulled, if your habits are being shaped without your awareness, if your focus is no longer fully under your control, then what exactly are you controlling? Your time, your actions, your direction, or just the illusion of choice inside a system that already understands you? And if that's true, then the most important question becomes unavoidable. How much of your life has been lived automatically, and how much of you is actually you?